This is Doom 2016 running at 200 FPS on Intel HD graphics. No, it is not fake at all. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to play Doom 2016 at 200 FPS on Intel HD graphics, by also making this masterpiece of a reboot look worse than Doom 1993. This video was requested by like 1 billion people, so shout out to anybody who requested it, and let's begin. I'm gonna test the game on my two laptops made by that certain company from the socialist comrades in China. The first one is a Lenovo Legion Y520 from 2017, and just as its name suggests, is a little bit too overpowered, at least for Doom 2016. It has a CPU that's so high quality that it has HQ in its name, a GTX 1050 non-Ti that's enhanced with additional 2 gigs of VRAM and 16 GB of RAM in dual channel. But how good is this laptop for Doom 2016 really? Well, let's just say that if you had or still have this laptop or a similar one, you would be in for a legendary gaming experience even at 1080p Ultra, as you can see. You can even turn on that red glowing keyboard for that extra Doom feeling. My second laptop, a Lenovo IdeaPad 115 IBY, has a Celeron N whatever that is so glorious that it's slower than a Kochudo from the year 6002 BC, Intel HD graphics San Francisco, and 4GB of RAM. It's actually a potato, unlike the Legion Y520. It's like comparing a Trabant to a Ferrari. Considering that Doom 2016 is known for running even on toasters, it's perfect for this video. But can my Lenovo IdeaPad 100 also run the Doom reboot? Well, that's an interesting question. See, this game requires a GPU with at least OpenGL 4.2 support. The Intel HD graphics of this laptop only support up to OpenGL 4.0. So what happened when I first tried to run the game is I was greeted with this fatal error. But with the help of a method showing how to run the Nintendo Switch emulators on PCs with unsupported GPUs, I was able to make Doom 2016 open. Download the 64-bit version of Mesa 3D that I will share from the link in the description, then extract the OpenGL 32.dll file from that thing I told you to download to where you've installed Doom. After that, make a CMD file in the game folder, you can name it whatever you want, then copy and paste the commands from the description of the video I got the method from to the newly created CMD file. Don't forget to replace the emulator executable.exe command with the name of the regular Doom executable file, not the VK one, exactly as I'm doing it. I will share those commands in the description too, by the way. Finally, save the CMD file, run the game from it, and congratulations! You've successfully launched Doom 2016 on an unsupported PC. For those asking what Mesa 3D does, it makes programs that require a higher version of OpenGL that your PC's GPU doesn't support run in software mode. In other words, your GPU doesn't do any of the rendering, and instead your CPU does all of it, which is a lot slower than normal rendering. At first, the game seemed to be loading well, but at one point the loading became really slow, so I pressed Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete, then I tried lowering my desktop resolution to 800 by 600, which didn't work, but at the same time it did, because when I went back to the game and pressed Alt plus Enter, it changed the resolution of the game. Yeah, I know what I did, but whatever it is, it made the loading much faster. Sadly, after the loading finished, it just crashed, with the crash report pointing to the access violation error, for which I do not have a fix. So yeah, Doom 2016 is out of the question on my Celeron laptop. Disappointing, I know. Alright then, let's use my Lenovo Legion Y520 instead. Thankfully, my Lenovo Y520, or more specifically the CPU of my Lenovo Y520, has Intel HD graphics too, which supports the required OpenGL version, so let's use it. To make the game use the Intel HD graphics instead of the GTX 1050, I went to the Windows settings, System, Display Settings, Graphics Settings, and from here I set the game's executable to power saving. decided to use the lowest settings, not expecting much from the Intel HD 630 considering that the game doesn't even run on the Celeron, yet the Intel HD Graphics 630 was able to give 30 to 40 FPS most of the time, which is much more than what I expected, let's be real, and that is at 720p. It was only in really intensive sequences when I saw some drops to the 20s and a little bit of slow motion. If you drop the resolution scale to 50% though, well, that's pretty much enough to fix all your lag problems and ensure a buttery smooth experience all of the time with the Intel HD 630 here. So yeah. Apparently the Intel HD 630 is a high-end GPU. I swear, if anybody calls the Intel HD 630 a potato at this point, I'm gonna shadow ban him from my channel. But I'm still gonna show you guys what you can do to get even better performance, because that's what you guys came for, so stay with me. Now, just like with all other games based on its software's engine, this game has a developer console, which can be opened by pressing this button on your keyboard. There are quite a lot of commands, however a lot of them, including the ones that we're interested in, are hidden and can only be accessed by enabling developer mode. The problem with this is that doing so is known to corrupt the save file. Thankfully, there's a very simple mod which unlocks all the commands, without having to enable developer mode. I will share it from the link in the description of course. To install the mod, just drag and drop the dinput8.dll file to where you've installed Doom, simple as that. Let's start off with the most obvious command for getting more FPS on a low-end PC. rskip shadows 1, well, gets rid of the shadows. Wonderful. rskip fog disables the fog effect that appears in the distance in open areas. rskip particles disables most effects from the game, including fire effects and such, the lighting effects emitted from weapons when you fire them, and explosion effects among many others. And yes, it does look a little bit weird with all these effects disabled, not gonna lie, but it's gonna become even weirder, so keep watching. You can also use the rskip tracers command to disable tracers from the weapons. rskip decals removes blood decals and such if you want to make the game more family friendly, you know, and it also disables bullet holes. rskip lights disables pretty much all of the dynamic lights from the game. Since this can make the game a little bit too dark in some areas, you can increase the gamma setting to as high as it can go. But if you want to unlock the true potato mode, you can use VTLD BIOS 10 to make all the textures look worse than Minecraft's ones. Oh yeah, now we're talking. And if that's still not enough for you, you can use rskip models to make your weapon model and all the enemies invincible, or you can use rskip world to get rid of it all. Yay, we broke the game, woohoo! Since the game reverts all the commands every time you restart it, you can create an Autoexec.cfg file in the base folder located inside your Doom 2016 game folder and add all the commands you want to use to that file. And yes, I will share the commands with you guys down in the description. Or if you're a lazy person like me, you can just download the Autoexec from the link in the description once again, of course. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. In game, open the developer console and type exec autoexec to apply all the commands from the autoexec.cfg file. The Doom Legacy mod that unlocks all the commands also comes with a list of all the commands, so feel free to do some experimenting if you wish. And with all the commands mentioned applied minus the rskip modus and rskip world ones, of course, we're now getting more than 100 FPS on the Intel HD 630. But we can do even better than this. If we lower the resolution to 640 by 480, which is the lowest one that the game allows, with the resolution scale kept at half of course, well, that's enough to get up to 200 FPS in some areas, which is actually the maximum FPS limit of the game. And no, you cannot disable the 200 FPS cap. Although at this point I'm not sure if I would still recommend playing Doom 2016 or just sticking to the 90s Doom games, since I mean, come on bro, this looks worse than freaking Roblox. Also keep in mind that there is like almost no performance difference whatsoever between OpenGL and Vulkan with the Intel HD 630 here, so much so that I won't even bother showing the performance difference between the two APIs. Anyway, at least I hope that you can now play Doom 2016 on your toaster with at least OpenGL 4.2 support, of course. I can also try out Doom Eternal if you guys want, which I'm sure many of you do, or I might so test Metal Gear Solid 5 in the future since it was also requested by like 1 billion people just like Doom 2016. You can also check out any of my other totally not inspired by low spec gamer videos from the playlist on the screen, and yeah, stay cool, stay strong, drink water, and have a nice day!